midlife. When we talk about midlife, I think I personally always thought that when you say midlife, it was going to be 50 or 45, 50. Parang almost the same time as menopause. That's how I always thought about it. Yet, I remember that in our late 30s, Ben, it felt like things were shifting for us. There were so many things happening between us. And I wasn't sure is this midlife crisis? What is happening really in our lives, in our individual lives, in our marriage, in life? This was around 2020. So
when the pandemic started.
When the pandemic started, that's when we really felt the shift. And I think what I was thinking was, am I ahead of the curve again? Is this early delivery of something? Because I was thinking, parang nauuna tayo. We're always ahead of the curve. I don't know. And it got me thinking, I don't know, maybe it's perimenopause. I really wasn't sure. What are your thoughts on midlife?
Life. I think I assume that what we went through was I think the pandemic accelerated this, I guess, transition for so many people in the world. But let's get into that.
Yeah. What I want to understand today is when we say midlife, is there a number attached to it? Or perhaps it's a season. It's not a number. So today, I think the best person to talk to about that and ask these meaningful questions, meaningful and necessary questions, is our guest. We are so honored to have this wonderful man with us today. Ben, do the intro. Magtrabaho ka naman. Do the work naman, Ben.
We're here today with
Doc Rene Sanmaniego.
Yeah.
Doc Rene, who is a psych and lifelong student of the Jungian framework, if you can call it a framework, who specializes in transitions, thresholds, and the movement toward the second half of life.
Welcome to Between Us, Doc Sam.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Of course.
It's a privilege to be here in this new endeavor of yours. So thank you for having me.
Okay, so personal note, Doc Sam is my psychiatrist. He's my therapist.
Or therapist.
I actually went to him because of my insomnia. A lot pre-pandemic. And little did I know that God was already leading me to the best person that could help me through this season of my life. So, Doc Sam, a quick overview.
So just maybe a very quick background about Jungian psychology. So Jungian psychology is simply the psychology of Carl Gustav Jung, who is a psychiatrist. And for context, maybe we can say that Carl Jung is a contemporary of Sigmund Freud. I think a lot of people are familiar with Sigmund Freud from Psychology 101. No, but Jung is no ordinary contemporary. He's actually considered as a protege of Sigmund Freud. He studied under him, so they worked together for quite some time. And they developed a very special relationship, not only professionally, but also personally. So, however, at a later time, they developed some differences in the way they looked at things. And one of those main differences is that, for instance, Freud, in his work with his patients and trying to work with their unconscious, he was largely focused on their distant past. So we're talking about the proverbial, tell me all about your childhood, tell me all about your mother kind of talk, no? And by all means, that's something that we do in therapy, every now and then. But the difference between Freud and Jung was that Jung also started to work with his patients' unconscious by focusing on their what he calls the process of individuation.
Yes.
Or the individuation process, which again is simply about becoming more and more the person we are meant to be in this lifetime, which is a topic that comes to all of us when we reach that point of midlife or the second half of life, right?
So
Yeah.
ano nga ba yung midlife, Doc Sam? Second,
Sige.
how do we define it? Like,
Yeah.
what defines your midlife?
The reality is that there is no specific or strict demarcation in terms of age demarcation that heralds or announces the onset of midlife or the second half of life. No, so I know there are a lot of people who say life begins at 40, right?
Yes,
But that is not strictly so. No? Or 40, 45, 50, ganyan. No? But midlife can definitely happen much earlier than that. Or the onset of midlife can happen much earlier than that. And it is the time when we start to become more psychologically oriented in our inner life, to our inner life. Now we start to ponder on questions like how and what our lives have become so far. So typically asking such questions.
So what I'm hearing is that it happens at different points in people's life. Is there is it often associated with a trigger event?
Most of the time, yes. No, it's what we call like triggers to individuation, the individuation process, which is basically any life event that would stimulate us to connect to our deeper selves and start asking ourselves larger questions like, is there all there is to life? You know? Or more specifically, is there all there is to my life?
Am I on the right path?
Correct.
Yung mga
Yeah,
ganyan. So, Doc Sam, this is often, I think, called a midlife crisis. And I think that's what I loved about attending your workshop. The reframing of Carl Jung calling it a midlife awakening.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's exactly why we thought of inviting you here. After we attended that workshop, I always knew that it was something I wanted to share with more people. The narrative and breaking it, it's a breakdown, the old narrative, right?
Yeah.
Crisis. When you think of crisis, tapos na lahat. Devastation. So how does Carl Jung, and what are your personal beliefs also around it? How do you now redefine it and turn it into a breakthrough, right?
So first, let's look at the word midlife. No? So for me, I think it's not the ideal word to describe it, but I think it's a fair one to describe it because it captures one important essence of midlife, which is like it's like the midpoint of a lifetime. No? And therefore, it's something that may divide two major parts of one life, which is the first half of life and the second half of life. And there's a very big difference between the two. No? So for one, there's a saying na parang in the first half of life, the battle is it's like between me and the world, which basically means when in the first half of life or when we were younger, again, our orientation is more external. So this is a time when we acquiesce or accommodate the demands of the world, whether it's our parents, partners, the society in general. We try to prove to the world what we're capable of. No?
Very persona.
Yeah, persona-oriented, as we call it. And we can talk about that at a later time. But that's basically how it is. Like, we establish our identities. We establish our careers. So we kind of try to find our way in the world and how the world works. No? But if you look at that kind of a paradigm, the goal is external success and societal approval. Validation, yeah. Which is something that we all go through.
Yes.
No?
In different ways. We're seeking validation in different ways. Hyper productivity or like wanting to look good or success.
Amassing things.
Amassing things, yes.
Having things.
I know.
Sure. I think we're all guilty of that to one extent or another.
And then the second half being...
And yun nga so parang sabi na, if in the first half of life, the battle is me versus the world, in the second half, the battle's already me versus myself. And it's
At
precise.
mas mahirap siya, di ba?
Well,
or different?
mahirap, but ultimately rewarding.
That's the goal. Yeah,
Yes, that's the
fulfilling.
goal.
Yeah. What are the things that normally
Yeah.
occur?
So going back to what I was saying earlier, we will get a feeling of that when we start to ask these questions. Like, apart from the roles that I have been playing in life, is there something else there? Like, apart from me being a psychiatrist, no, can I be something else? Apart from being an actress or an artist, apart from being an entrepreneur, or whatever it is that we have been doing for the first 40, 50 years of our lives, is there anything else there? And these are what we call the unfulfilled parts of ourselves, which in the second half of life, ideally, we need to respond to or we need to actualize. So remember, the individuation process is becoming more and more the person we are meant to be. So ano pa yung hindi ka nagiging? You know what I mean?
It's because we're always becoming something, right?
correct.
And we're always in the process of becoming something.
I guess a trigger for me was the pandemic. The pandemic wasn't good for my business. So I have Bookie, a tech company in the Philippines, because all the restaurants closed down. The pandemic, our business really suffered, and we had to reinvent a lot of what we do in that 2-3 year period. It felt like there was little material progress from our efforts in the pandemic to rebuild the business. And so for me, I think it was like a natural pressure to seek something deeper internally. And I think one thing I definitely held on to was that okay, all of these efforts we're making to turn the business around may not be translating to say numbers, but I guess I was taking solace in that. I know I was growing internally. The challenges were forcing me to develop a lot of aspects myself, particularly like related to leadership, just managing the situation and getting through it. And I knew coming out of the pandemic, I would be a stronger leader and probably a better person. And so that was probably one thing that set me on this path of I guess deeper introspection. And it hasn't gone away. It's only gone deeper. I mean, to the extent where each morning, Iza knows, like I'm literally manifesting and speaking to the trees every morning, trying to be one with the greater force that is the universe and God and everything, right?
With a collective.
Yes.
That journey I see is just really it's gotten me closer to the truth of the true nature of living, of the universe. So it's all been great. But the second two other.
It's all been great. Wait lang
It's not all been great, but the internal growth.
Do I hear an objection?
Yeah, the two other triggers, or I guess life events was, one again, the pandemic brought about a lot of challenges for Iza and I in our relationship and everything at home.
Talaga?
I'm sure everybody can relate to this.
Sabi ni Doc Sam.
That one I won't go into so much detail today.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay lang. That's between us.
You talked about the second half of life being like a mirror, right? It's you against you against yourself. Is that the wording you used?
Me versus myself.
Me versus myself. But in the same sense, that's what a life partner does to you as well.
Mirror.
Right?
Yep.
They really, one way or another, they force you to become a better version of yourself, right? Yeah. So I mean, Iza sees things in me. Iza sees things in me and loves to point out things in me that I don't necessarily see myself. So credit to you. You're much faster at picking up on those things than me. So and the
you
third
also
thing,
do the same. Okay.
yeah, of course, and that's really what marriage is about, right? So, but the third thing is the birth of our daughter, obviously, right? So naturally, you mentioned it's about asking yourself questions, and naturally, when I think everybody has a child, you ask yourself the big question: who do you want?
Sure.
What role model do you want to become for your child, right? Which means like what do I have to change about myself, my patterns, So that raises big questions going back to our childhoods, right? How we were wired by our parents. What is good? What has to change?
And we're still there.
And we're still there. We're still processing a lot.
And
You'll be there
A lot.
until
your last breath.
The last
Yeah,
breath.
exactly.
And before we get to Doc Sam's personal journey of whatever it is you want to share, comfortable to share. Thank you, Poopy. Thank you, Ben, for sharing a bit of your journey. I think for me, midlife, the awakening, I'll just call it the awakening, okay? Started from a health, it's for me, it's such a humbling season. Humbled health-wise because I got COVID in 2020, literally fought for my life. And Ben, that was... Actually, I know you don't like going back there. We'll do one episode where maybe we'll go back there.
Yeah, well,
that's a very traumatic.
Iza was
time
in the
for
hospital for 11 nights. No, it's okay. But that was actually that's good to mention. In that 11 nights in hospital where Iza was in a very frail state because of COVID. That was I actually refer to that as like us being thrown in the cauldron. In a way, it was not a blessing, but our start of the pandemic was as bad as it could get, and actually everything after that felt relatively easy compared to 11 nights in hospital.
Well, that's your perspective.
Yeah, for me.
That's from a different perspective.
Maybe I had a worse... I wasn't the one sick, but I had a worse time in hospital trying to look after you. So
maybe.
Yeah.
And I think it's difficult in different ways, right? The pandemic, that was difficult, I think, in terms of seeing a partner not in good health. I wasn't in good health. So I'll just talk about, again, my awakening was being humbled health-wise. And when the business was challenged, I think our financial awakening also, it became more apparent for me. Oh gosh, okay, I was not living my life. I wasn't healthy financially. It brought that to the surface. A lot of things that I was just like not facing about myself, how I managed my money, how also, I think it also brought about a lot of things, as Ben said, in terms of our marriage. And thank you to Dea, we're still here. And it really, it humbled me, I guess, because I made a lot of mistakes. I crumbled. I think I had to break down first in order to get the breakthrough. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but I attended a thing called a Landmark Forum.
I've heard of it, yes.
In my 20s. And they said, with every breakdown, there is a breakthrough. And I've always remembered that. And it's kind of like what the crisis awakening is. And it's true, sometimes you have to be on your knees and stripped off of almost everything before you actually ask these questions and have to look at yourself and all the messy parts. Honestly,
look at yourself.
Honestly, look at yourself and ask yourself questions and also accept. And that's when it was for me. And thank you, Doc Sam, for making me feel that I wasn't alone in experiencing these shifts and transitions and sins and all, my imperfections. Because sometimes you just have to hear that actually you're not the only one who goes through that. And, as Ben said, we don't, this is it's a blessing and also a very big responsibility and challenge. During the pandemic, now we got a baby. But we were talking about it. It's like a defining and divine moment for me. So, and as much as there were a lot of breakdowns, I think they were preparing me for the gift that is Dea. And the responsibility. So to me, that's why it's an awakening. I really love the word awakening because minulat niya talaga yung mata ko, Dok. Minulat niya yung mata ko. So mulat means to open eyes, Pupi. With how I was living my life, I started asking, is this how I want to continue living my life? All the questions. So, yeah, that's why we're here today.
Yeah, which is an element of what we were saying earlier, which is that part that forces us somehow to take an accounting or to look at our lives as to how we have been living it. But one interesting thing that I'm hearing here is that even in the midst of that challenging situation, there is some sense or knowing, that okay, something's happening here.
Not right away, Doc.
Not right away, for
I don't
sure.
think it was
For
right
sure.
away. Was it right away for you? Therapy session pala namin to.
Well, it's still happening, right? We're
Yeah,
still
we're still like-
still
Yeah,
processing.
Yeah.
Well, certainly at the time, like shortly after like a life trigger event, our actions, our thoughts, our actions change. And for me, I ended up journaling and doing some other things. But I guess at the time, certainly at the time, like I don't think we were able to label what was happening, right? It's just kind of
Sure,
like
yeah.
there's a natural evolution to doing some new things day to day.
So I think maybe a good question now is how can one know when it's happening to you? Doc Sam, that's why we have you here today, because we want somebody listening or watching might want to ask, how do I know
Yeah.
if it's starting?
And how can we handle it
Yes.
better?
Yeah.
We don't. We're we kind of naturally like call it roll with it, but we don't know actually if what we're doing is the best way to go about it.
Yes.
You mentioned it's about asking questions. How do we know if the questions we're asking are really the best questions?
Yeah. So we can start with trying to be a little more conscious and mindful of what is happening in our psychological space, because we will not be aware of those questions if we do not pause and reflect. And that's why maybe I'm jumping ahead, but that's actually part of how we can work with midlife and the second half of life, which is to live it more consciously. That is that the basic task of the second half of life is that to live it more consciously, because for the most part in the first half we're just living it reactively as to all of these demands or what is happening in our lives. But that will not work anymore in the second half, because the second half is about calling us to live a larger life. And that I remember Jungian analyst by the name of James Hollis who said, for us to be able to live a larger life, we need to ask larger questions.
Like what
In the-
questions daw yan, Doc?
Yeah, like-
no, like somebody
yeah.
asked, like, what do you mean by larger questions?
Sure. Like, apart from, let's say, the roles that I have been playing in my life, as a son, as a daughter, as a parent, as a friend,
As a doctor.
as a doctor, what other roles are there for me? And it can be something as simple as, and this may be a little bit of a self-disclosure.
Yes.
So, for example,
Please disclose as much as you're comfortable with
so
disclosing.
one thing that I'm into right now is creative writing, which I think is at the opposite side of the spectrum of science. You know what I mean? Which is part of me being a psychiatrist. So it's those things. It could be something small. It could be something major, but something that resonates with us. And that's one of the things that maybe we need to tell your listeners, that there's no hard and fast boilerplate rule.
No right or wrong.
No right or wrong. It is what feels right for you, for the most part. That is the principle of synchronicity, as we call it. Is it something that, or a principle of resonance, if you may? Is it something that resonates with me? And I think the more, it will be more authentic if you cannot explain it logically or rationally. I just know that I want this.
I want to do
I
this.
just know that this is for me. So let me give it a try.
I believe in intuition a lot. And if, like, sometimes my gut tells me I have to do this, like, and I feel like that's the divine
Yeah,
speaking.
sure.
to me.
But getting out of the Jungian realm and going a little more scientific. So, for example, there is psychotherapeutic framework we call dialectical behavior therapy. So it's well researched, it's very scientific, it's very skills based. So we teach patients skills, specific skills. But even then, there's the element or the principle of what we call the wise mind, which is a combination of the emotional mind, the rational mind, and the third important element is the gut or the instinct, intuition. So even in science, there's already sort of a marriage between
all three.
Yeah, all three.
So trust your gut, really.
Definitely.
Really, there's something to it. But it has to be like talagang yung hindi mo siya talaga ma-pinpoint. Like clear example. I don't know why, but something tells me I need to visit Dumaguete and live there. I mean, so I've never been. Please, somebody take me to Dumaguete and allow me to understand why my gut keeps telling me I need to go and do that.
Yeah.
Like
and we're not saying you need to up and leave leave everything behind, but at least see what's in Dumaguete.
What's there?
Yeah.
Hi, guys. We are the Eavesdrop Podcast. My name is Francesca.
My name is Jelly.
This is Delamar.
This is Jude. What's up?
Yeah, and we are inviting you to check us out, your fellow TPN podcast.
And if you want to learn more about life, what's happening around us, you want to know about love, healing, this is the podcast you should be listening to.
Eavesdrop, 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 eavesdrop. Sometimes we get drunk and do the show. Those are the fun ones.
Like today.
Ooh, why? Who's drunk?
Like right now.
You're red as a bug.
Am I? Eavesdrop, please catch it. 4 hosts going crazy. You'll have fun. You'll cry. Everything else. So please check it out. The Eavesdrop.
Only on the Pod Network.
You have just given us like signs. We're talking about signs pa lang of what to look out for, what's happening. Events could lead you to these questions, right?
I think life events. Maybe the analogy with life events, as I see it, it's like it's almost like being hit by a car, right? It's something that's triggered reactively. But I think what you're suggesting, and everybody, and certainly myself, I could do a better job on what's important is more consciousness, conscious living. But be able to do that, you need to reflect.
Yes.
And you need to create the time and space to do that. And I think that's certainly probably the biggest challenge for us. We're all busy and like everybody else, right? I guess the risk in all of this is that if we don't take, deliberate steps to reflect and recalibrate our consciousness, then we're just waiting one day for a car to come along and hit us. And then it's really a case of just having to react out of necessity. Right. So any advice there
on
around
how to prepare?
I guess what we can do day to day to kind of get ahead of this rather than waiting for that car to hit us.
Or do we really just have to wait for it?
It could be both.
It could be both, diba? Because you also can't be too anxious that, oh my God, it's gonna come out. It could build anxiety.
So when I say both, there's the idea of more intentionally and purposefully living your life. But sometimes things happen to us that force us to be more conscious and more mindful.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, we can't really over-prepare for things, right? And we just ultimately have to surrender everything. And I think that's one of the biggest lessons of life is surrender. It's hard. But once we're there, Doc, maybe some practical tips. Perhaps if we could provide even like 3 tips that, tools that we can have in our pockets when things are unraveling in our lives and we're experiencing this.
Yeah. So we were talking about mindfulness earlier, right? meditation. I think it's a very practical tool, meditation and self-reflection. So in my own practice, I do mindfulness meditation, which is basically just taking some time during the day to connect with the moment. And you can do that by connecting with your breath, because the breath is happening all the time. So whenever we connect to the breath, we're connecting to the moment. We are not in the past. We're not in the future. And you know what those two time frames entail, right?
do,
Like
yeah.
when we are more in the past than in the present, we talk about think about the should haves, could haves, would haves, regrets. No?
And that's where depression can come in,
Yep.
right?
Yeah. Or on the flip side, if we're in the future, the basic nature of the future is uncertainty. We never know for sure what's going to happen to us tomorrow, next week, next month. And if we're living more in the future,
Anxiety. Pwede na ako mag-doktor, Doc,
Yes.
no? Doc Iza.
PhD.
Hi. Smile naman, Ben.
So that's-
serious to asawa ko. No, he's taking this
Processing.
all in.
I'm a good student.
Wow, I'm not. Okay.
That's
talk-
the
you
simple
talk too much.
formula.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, I do. I'll keep shut though.
So mindfulness and reflection. There's journaling. So Ben was saying something about that earlier. There's dream work, no? Especially in Jungian-oriented psychotherapy. That's one of the pillars of Jungian work in therapy. And for those of us who do not have the luxury
Of
of
time.
doing dream work with a therapist, for example, a simple way to do dream work is to actually just write our dreams down.
Should
Just
we
a
remember?
simple act. Should we remember?
Yes,
Yeah.
because sometimes we don't.
Sure.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we dream every night.
Yeah.
But the thing though is that the dreams that we would usually remember again, I would venture to say, are those that carry important messages for us. It's the unconscious way of communicating with us that, hey, you have to pay attention to this. You have to know this, and therefore we will
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. Sorry, last na, Doc Sam, because I don't have as much time as I used to have. If there is something that, let's say, a single mother is here, is watching this, like, I don't have time to journal, maybe I can have time to connect with my breath. Just 30 seconds, just go with the breath. I think that's the most basic thing.
Yes.
But is there one more, at least?
Well, connecting with the breath is just one way to be mindful. So I'll share with you at the height of the pandemic, I had some patients who are doctors, frontliners. No? And what I would tell them to do is to just practice mindfulness wherever they are. So when, before we used to wash our hands a lot, right?
Yes.
It's a practice that was advocated to all of us. So doctors obviously are frontliners. That's something that they had to do a lot, right? So whenever you're washing your hands, you can be in the moment.
Yeah.
Feel the rubbing of your hands or your fingers together. Maybe be a little more conscious of the aroma of the soap that you're using,
The wind on your
sensation of the water as it flows through your hands. So that's connecting in the moment. And there are things that can come up during those moments. Some insights or some ideas. Those things can happen even during those small moments. Yeah.
I agree.
So
I
that's
agree.
something very practical.
Thank you, Doc.
Yeah.
I thank you. Okay, 'di ba? Misis na naglalaba habang naglalaba.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I remember this. Yeah, just connecting with that with that moment.
We can practice mindfulness anywhere and at any time. So there's mindful eating. There's mindful walking.
Walking is great.
Yeah.
Walking is a great tool.
What are the big questions that most of us want to answer? I mean, that's broad because everybody is different, but I'm wondering from your experience, having spoken to a lot of people,
The big three
if there's 2 or 3
questions.
questions that people kind of go, you go back to with people.
I would say one of the big 3 would be that, like, apart from who I am right now, apart from the roles that I have been able to fulfill, what else is there for me to do?
One.
No, because I think
That's
that
a big
is
question.
that's a big question. I think it's a question that can potentially lead us to a greater meaning and purpose in our lives. No?
And that's you said. What else is there for me to do? Is if to say there's maybe another role, or
Another
or as
role,
if to say I could be better at my present roles.
It could even be just a simple hobby.
Yeah.
Right.
Like maybe I can take up knitting.
Yeah.
I like pottery.
And that can occur again in a very wide spectrum
Yeah.
because there are people who would go into what some people call radical sabbatical, which is really
Wow.
changing careers.
Wow.
So that's a big one. Although yun nga, it doesn't have to be as big as that. No?
Yeah.
You can still do whatever it is you've been doing for the
Yeah.
longest time, but look at the other things that you can possibly do, especially the ones that are calling out to you.
Do you? Maybe it's about like while you're doing, let's say, even if you're successful, I feel like personally, like say me, I'm an actress. In the season of my life was when we started Actor,
Yeah.
which is the community for actors. And there are moments that I really feel, what am I doing? This is taking a lot of my bandwidth. But then we were talking about it, like, why am I doing this? It provides meaning and fulfillment in that area of my life. That's kind of connected even today, but to the community. It's like, for me, it's me serving the community, wanting it to be better. So, yeah, things like that. And for you, like, with Bookie, I think it's your constant, I don't know, you answer that for yourself. I don't want to answer it for you. I'm sure you have it, right? Like, it's going beyond what I'm just doing now. It could be actually complementary to that. Or, I
Sure.
mean, because what
Yeah,
I'm doing
yeah.
after is complementary.
Yep.
Or it could be something just new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is where the element of the shadow can also come in. Because the shadow are the unfulfilled parts of ourselves. And when you talk about shadow, it just doesn't mean all negative parts of ourselves. So it could be undiscovered, but potentially powerful parts of ourselves that we need to realize and that we need to live out.
Is our authentic self who we were born to become, or is our authentic self someone, something that we want to become?
I think it could be both. No? Because there is what we call archetypes in Jungian psychology, which is something that we are all born with. And that is at the level by which we are all connected. It's called the collective unconscious. No, but at the same time, there is, I would like to think, an individual call that happens to all of us, that comes to all of us. So your call can be quite different from my call. So it's something unique. No? What we call it the acorn theory. The acorn can actually develop into a large oak tree, which is in relation to what we are talking about, the process of individuation. So it could be both. It could be something that's there, but at the same time, it could also be something that we need to develop over time as we go through life. Yeah.
And it's, I think, only for us to discover.
Yeah.
A lot of our conversation today, discovery is a big word. When you said you have to find that, it's for you. It's like trial and error. If something's calling, I'll try this. Oh, but maybe that's not it. And that really takes time and patience and intuition and wisdom.
Yeah.
To get to a state of conscious living, awakened living, authentic living, does one have to experience hardship and suffer a lot?
Inevitably, yes. But we need to make a distinction between pain and suffering. No? So pain is an inevitable part of life. It's a given, right? All of us will encounter things that we don't want. We will not get everything that we want. No? So that I think it inevitably entails pain. But there's what we call unnecessary suffering. Because when we get caught up in all of these negative patterns and we look at it from a negative perspective, which I think is also what we were touching on earlier, that, life is largely about perspective and paradigm. We can look at midlife as a crisis, but we can also look at it as an awakening. We can look at it as an end of something, but we can also look at it as the beginning of something. I am drawn to this Jungian concept, which is called liminality, which is defined, I love the definition. It's defined as the space between the no longer and the not yet. Imagine that metaphorical door in the desert, which is like when you enter that door, it's a totally different realm. No? So liminality is being under that doorway. We are leaving a room, but we're in the doorway and we still don't know what's on the other side. You see? And there's big potential in that liminal space.
Infinite potential.
Infinite potential. And that's the thing about uncertainty, right? Anything can happen from there. So there's a very big potential there. See?
So it's really about your perspective around uncertainty.
Yep.
Yeah.
And turning that into a positive and actually something to be maybe optimistic about.
Yeah, and that's why we're doing a podcast.
Yeah.
This is your next big call. This is your calling, Ben.
We don't know about this.
Yeah, we were saying about educating
Yeah.
the listeners,
the listeners.
introducing
This is purpose.
yeah.
Purposeful for
And this is
us.
not the be-all and end-all,
Yes.
diba? This is just a perspective that we can share with them. If they resonate, then welcome to the perspective. But if not, that's fine too. Yeah.
Get what you want to, or what you need to, from this episode, and if it doesn't align or resonate with you, then glad we still got to connect. Diba?
So I guess a lot of what you do with your students, your patients, is actually helping them set perspective.
Sure. That's a basic tool. Actually, in almost all psychotherapeutic frameworks, not just Jungian-oriented psychotherapy. Yeah.
Yeah. Can we get a fun perspective of Doc Sam? Now, I think it's time.
Yeah.
We've gotten really deep here, Doc
Yeah,
Sam.
yeah.
It's my job to lighten.
Let's go.
Let's go
Up a bit.
Oh, Doc Sam. I mean, it's been such a great, meaningful and enriching, enlightening conversation. But let's keep it light now. We have this quick fire round here with. Sometimes we ask ourselves, but sometimes we also ask our guest. So if we can answer with one short phrase.
All of us.
All of us. Okay.
Para
Okay.
more fun.
More fun.
Doc Sam
it's
first.
more fun with Doc Sam. One word. When you know you're changing. When you know you're changing, a habit you've left behind.
Drinking.
Yeah. I wanted to say being late, but we're very late today. A lot. Drinking. Para safe.
Not one word, but a phrase like not worry too much about the future.
Okay. A new thing you're drawn to.
Creative writing.
Oh, ang bilis nung kay Doc
Love
Sam,
it.
no? Ako, community work. Oh, yun na lang. Kay semi-new.
New thing we're drawn to.
Me. I'm a new thing. You're drawn to me. Please say it. Wala tag... Deya. Oh.
That's not so new.
Pwede na rin.
A new thing. I'm seeing new things I like about my wife.
Wow. Sige na. Well, same. 50-50. Sometimes I see it.
I don't have a
sometimes
choice. Yeah.
Love you. Okay. A value that suddenly matters.
Thing that automatically comes to mind, self-discovery, but that's always mattered to me. Yeah.
Ako, frugality. It's something I need to develop. And it's deep because I related that to something negative because my mom was frugal. So now I have to come to love it. So, yeah. I'm not quite there yet. He's very frugal. We're here. We're here. We're here.
For me, kindness. I say that because after having a child, a daughter, I realize it's so important, maybe the most important thing to model for her. So I'm thinking, obviously, it's not like we haven't been unkind, but
You've
I
always
very
been kind.
Yeah, I know, but I think just far more consciously
Yes.
thinking about
Both
how
of us.
important that is
Yeah.
for our child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. To everybody.
Yep. Yep.
To everybody. Because it really
Sure.
go around. Okay. A mindset that you outgrew. Ako, I have. I'm outgrowing. Pwede ba yun? I'm outgrowing collecting material things. Amassing talagang yung the need to.
Actually, same. Yeah.
Yes, Doc. Yes,
Start.
Doc.
Let start. What's the term for that?
Minimalism.
Purging.
Purging, yes.
Purging. Yeah.
Yeah.
A mindset I outgrew or I'm outgrowing is the need to tell people that things are actually going well.
Yes. Oh, I'm proud of you, Whoopi. I love you. Things don't always have to be okay. People need to
Yeah,
know when it's
yeah.
not okay so they can support you properly.
Thank you for that reminder.
Yeah.
Actually,
That's such a powerful one. Okay, this one. Your mantra right now.
live in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Live in the
Enjoy.
moment. Yeah.
Have fun,
Yeah, have fun.
relax, and have fun.
My favorite, laban lang. Pero minsan, pause also. Hindi kailangan lumaban ng lumaban. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Doc Sam.
Thank you.
We have,
My
please,
pleasure.
close this, Ben. I mean,
We'll settle payment for this session after we stop recording.
I think from a personal level, I just want to thank you, Doc Sam, not just for being here in our show between us in the first season, but in the most, I think, trying season of our lives, of my life. And Doc Sam is super chill. And I think if there's anybody here watching, just if you need help or wherever life guides you, life just guided me to you because of insomnia. But I didn't realize you would really be so, I guess, it would have so much impact in my growth and evolution as a person. I know I need to do more sessions with you and need to do more sessions with myself to pause and reconnect. Because we are still in the process of this awakening, of this evolution. But you have been so instrumental in my journey, in our journey. So thank you.
Are you on Instagram?
Yes.
Okay. What's your? We can mention his handle if anybody wants to.
Facebook, I guess.
Yeah.
Facebook, more
is
Facebook.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we will have more sessions on Facebook, right,
Yes,
Doc
yes,
Sam?
yes.
I put you on the spot.
Yep,
Follow
yep.
you on Facebook. Is it a public
Facebook,
account?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Please.
And
What's
people
your
can
Facebook
Rene
account?
Sanmaniego.
Rene Sanmaniego.
People
Doc
can reach
Rene.
out to you there. They can message you. And
Yeah.
Thank you, Doc Sam.
Thank you.
key takeaway is my wife is very good for building my patience. And my main key takeaway today is everything I guess we've gone through is very normal. And that the more we learn about this transition, the growth in life, the more we're empowered to be better at it, to be better in life, right? And to reach that peace, that happiness, that fulfillment a little faster. But I like your point about perspective. I really believe in that. Ultimately, everything, there's a positive in everything. Everything is perfect timing, right? So if you're having a terrible day, some life event happens, actually, this is the perfect timing for it.
Yeah.
So it's perspective. I like that a lot.
Yeah. And speaking of timing, I think midlife. Perhaps, as you said, it might not be the best definition for it. Perhaps it's season. It's the transition season. I don't know. It's the awakening season. I think it always comes at the perfect time, exactly when you need it. So for me, I learned it reinforces today's conversation with Doc Sam, reinforces the belief of accepting my fate, and embracing the changes that come with every season of life. So, and valuing the partner that you've been blessed with, and you've been tasked to go through that season with. So I value you more today. Happy birthday, Ben. I love you.
It was a few days ago. It was a few days
Okay.
ago.
All right. I hope you guys learned something or a lot from our conversation with Doc Sam today. Midlife awakening. I pray that you be guided, supported, and blessed through this season of your life. And if you're not yet there, it's okay. You don't have to worry about it. Like all of us, we'll get through it. Thanks for listening to Between Us. Thank you so much, Mel Lozano, our producer, to the Pod Network and Spotify Studios. This is Iza.
Ben.
And
Dr. Sam.
this is Between Us. See you next time.
The Pod Network Entertainment. The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company, or individual.